The bulls just went on an epic run in which me and the Wolfpack Telegram group absolutely crushed it. We got like a 95% hit rate of the last 15 trades. Absolutely crushed it and make bank. But as with all good things, it always comes to an end. So the big question is, how much higher can Bitcoin run from here? And when should we start locking in profits? And when should we start looking to short the market to make gains on the flip side? Good thing is we can take a look at the charts right here, and it's gonna give us a good indication of what the highest probability trades are today. Let's get into it.
If you're looking for the next 100x crypto project to buy into, you have come to the right place. My name is Cameron Fous, and I have been a professional day trader for nearly 20 years. I deposited $20,000 into an account, and in just over a year, it's now worth nearly $2 million. On this channel, I'm going to present to you the best altcoins to buy, such as getting into Mana before it ripped 595%, getting into Dogecoin before it ran 15,000%. So if you want to hear about all the best trade opportunities first, hit that subscribe button, and more importantly, turn on the notifications bell so you can get these time-sensitive trade ideas immediately when my new videos go live.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Currently live from Bangkok, Thailand, where I am residing for the next 10 days as Bitcoin literally just flipped the weekly chart in favor of the bulls, and we absolutely crushed this last 3 weeks of trading upon this move. Now, question is, where do we go from here? Let's just take a look at what's been going on in Bitcoin as of right now. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised that we did break out of this weekly chart to the upside, which is a very bullish indication in the near term for the bulls. The last time we did this after the Trendex indicator was on a weekly epic bender. For quite some time, we broke down the 50-day moving average on the daily chart, which then led to a Trendex indicator flip on the weekly to only come back down for maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 weeks or so before we flipped back above. And then we went on an epic bender again to all-time highs, which then turned into a bull trap, and everybody's hopes and dreams of 100K got absolutely crushed for the year of 2021, and we dropped about 60% on Bitcoin. But we are now back trending and flipping above on the weekly chart for the Trendex indicator, which is a very bullish indicator as far as trends go. But can we actually push to all-time highs again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 75K? I would say the probability of that is not in favor of the bulls right now. And the reason why is I think there's too much stuff going on in the world, and we've been too good for too long, especially in the US stock market, of which I'm actually short the US 30 at the moment. Does this mean that everything's gonna go down and I'm 100% right? No, okay? That's not how trading works. I wrote on my Twitter today because people were talking about, isn't trading predicting? I said, trading is not predicting. Trading is identifying probabilities and setting up a game plan in favor of the higher probability, of which a percent of that probability could be wrong. You are playing both sides of the probability for every trade. One is winning big on that trade. The other side of that trade is losing small. End of story. So all we try to do as traders is identify the highest probability of an outcome of a certain setup at a certain given time, and we set up a trading plan, such as when Bitcoin was looking very bullish on the daily chart right here, we were setting up descending trend, wedge pattern breakout here. At this point, when Bitcoin broke out of this wedge pattern, that was a high probability setup trade in favor of the bulls for everything to start running. So you go long with the high probability of it coming and reaching up towards the next resistance point at about 45K to upwards of currently where it is now, 47.3, and you would set a stop underneath this level at about 38.5. So now you have a risk reward of risking, 38.5 and a reward of 45 to 47. So you're looking for a high probability trade where that probability based on the situation, of which this situation was a breakout pattern, is higher in your favor because that's what the chart's suggesting. You're not predicting. There's always the chance of that trade not working out. There's two sides, and that's all we do as traders. And now the probability is looking less in favor of the bulls due to the fact that we're coming into major resistance points after an epic run on Bitcoin, of which we just ran up and locked in a lot of gains on Bitcoin. After this run from lows, we're now up 27-30% in the last couple weeks. Significant move, also retesting the highs again of this ascending channel right now, also the 200-day moving average, which suggest some profit taking coming into play and a potential pullback again. We also have the significant level of resistance in the 50K level on Bitcoin. So all we're doing is looking for a setup where the highest probabilities are in our favor and we make sure that we're not going to lose a lot. Just taking a look at some of the recent trades that we've been in based on this simple pattern right here of this wedge breakout. Once that happened, there was a shitload of great looking revival patterns that I call in the altcoins, of which we start taking advantage of. You can see these trades set up here. That was on sand. We got in down here, stop loss down here. The probability was in our favor for things to go up, and we set profit targets along the way up, of which I'm already actually fully out of sand because I stopped out because I minimized risk. There's also one, which we got in down here, now reaching the profit targets up near the top. There's also ENJ, we got in down here. Risk reward was looking in our favor based on Bitcoin setting up in a bullish pattern. Now it's reaching up, hit 1, 2, now onwards of potential 3 and 4 of our profit targets. Same with Hero, which is still based below. I still have a small piece of Hero. UOS, I'm still long. We got in down here at about 114. It has yet to reach our profit targets, but it did trigger a wedge pattern breakout, yet to hit our profit target of 140, 160, and 191. I'm still long UOS. I'm still long Hero. The problem is Bitcoin has already made its run while this coin in particular has lagged. Now, the problem with the coins that are lagging, even though right now this is a very bullish setup, if Bitcoin runs out of steam at these levels of which it currently is right now, it's running into a major resistance level, then this coin is no longer going to run with Bitcoin. It's also going to eat shit and turn into a false breakout, of which a lot of coins did have that kind of look yesterday. If we look at a lot of the patterns from yesterday, everything was kind of peaking out as sand reached our third profit target from our entry down here, peaked out over that level and started selling off, but everything is still pumping back up again as Bitcoin is still finding strength after that false looking shooting star candle. Now people are coming in and buying the dip and still running up, but we are still, again, right at this ascending bearish flag, okay? If we look at back here, guys, this is a bearish flag across Bitcoin here. Descending trend right here, rising flag pattern. This is a bearish pattern, a bearish flag that's forming in. We are retesting the upper range of that, which is now setting up in a higher probability trade for us to go short as opposed to going long, because the probability here, after making 30% run into a resistance zone, this would make a lot more sense to be short here or lock in your profits after going long down here, that we're probably going to see a pullback to a certain level on Bitcoin. Thing is, crypto's a little crazy and we could still see a short squeeze. Now we also have the psychological level and also physical level of 50K. So I actually opened up a small short, just 15% at this lower range, and I'll be adding about 15 to 10% to my position short, upwards of 100% position, upwards of 51.8 and a stop about 53.1, okay? Because I do think that we could potentially squeeze. I'm not betting the farm right here. I think we could have one more squeeze, get everyone suckered in to the point where every single person on Twitter is bullish, which is actually a bearish indicator for me, because I don't like to follow the crowd. Whenever all the Bitcoin maxis run in their mouths saying we're back in full bull mode, that's typically a time when your grandma is also wondering if she should buy Bitcoin at the dinner table. And that's a pretty big telltale sign that it's probably time to sell Bitcoin. As I said here, I said, what say you Bitcoin maxi pads? Bitcoin maxis, basically indicating that we could potentially be on the trajectory of back down to 36, potentially 18.5 on Bitcoin. So that's simply my situation here on Bitcoin, is I'm getting short Bitcoin in this range for potential pullback to the lower edge of the channel. And if that channel actually breaks, we could potentially have a descending triangle breakdown on Bitcoin as we form this pattern down here with the support at 30K. If 30K breaks down, it's going to go from 30K down to 20K, down to about 19 to 20K in under 2 weeks. If we do see a panic sell, all hell is going to break loose. If we get a sustained breakdown under 30K, it's going to easily, within 1 to 2 weeks, going to drop to 20 to 19K on Bitcoin, which could potentially be a huge buying opportunity on Bitcoin if we do see that happen. So right now, I've locked in most of my profits. As you can see, we got an ape, 12,000 profit. Luna, which I actually stopped out, I'd actually be up 12,000 to 15,000 on Luna. Unfortunately, I got a 92, stopped out at 93.86. I was a little too large on Luna. I started out with a small position in Luna down here at about 90, and then I started to add up here when we started breaking out at 94. And as I started to add, I went to a full-size position right about here, but there was a 1 day pullback that lasted about 4 hours that I moved my stop level into break even on Luna, or even a small profit on Luna, so that I ensured myself that I did not lose money on Luna, because I'm always looking for, always moving forward, flat or forward in the market. As soon as I get into a profitable position where I'm up 2-3 grand on a play, or even sometimes $500 a play, depending on the position size, I move my stops into break even, because if it goes down below break even, I can stop out and then potentially get back in. But the problem with that is sometimes you don't get back in, which was also the case with Luna because I was sleeping when this happened. So as I moved my stop up into a small profit, it came back down, stopped me out, and then started firing up, now reaching all-time highs. So I'm not actually in the actual trade of Luna, but we did get in down here on the dip at about the 90 level, and now it's running all-time highs, of which profit targets of one was just hit at 103, 110, 115, and 120. And up in this range is where we're potentially looking to actually short Luna if it actually reaches up there. Also with ADA, I just recently opened a short on ADA Cardano in this red box range. As you can see, again, long-term chart, the ascending trend line here in this area. Also, the resistance here on ADA, this is a perfect area where people are going to be locking in gains, where you actually see people did lock in gains yesterday. We might see one more spike, especially if we get over this high right here and over this high right here on ADA. We'll probably see a bull trap in this range. If we do spike over here, we'll definitely get sellers coming in, come back down probably towards $1 per coin, of which I would like to lock in profits down there or even lower. So those are my two main shorts right now, Bitcoin and ADA on the play. Both are this very small positions. On the table, just about 10 to 15% entry so far, and we'll add as we spike in these levels. I love to short bull traps, all right? The problem with most people, when they get short into a position, they see a move like this, a spike up, and then they start getting short down here. And then there's one last spike that runs up and they get stopped out. If you have patience, which is a huge virtue in shorting, wait till it gets to levels where you don't think it's actually going. A lot of people think, I'll have my stop set over this high. That's not where you want your stop set. You want to enter over this level because that's where most people's stops are going to be set, and then people lock in profits or get stopped out. It's called stop hunting, then get short above that level. That creates a bull trap, and then it's just a massive sell-off right after everyone thinks that they just got stopped out. Sometimes I don't know why I tell people this because this is a deep secret that the majority of people don't follow. But that's how I like to trade. I don't like to think like everybody else. We are also still currently in VRA, guys. We got down here at about 0.222, hit 1, 2, our first two profit targets. Our third profit target is en route on the way to about 0.03 cents on VRA, which then would be a potential short in this range, about 0.03 to 0.035 in that range to actually get short in VRA. Still in there. Also looking at APE, guys, my profit target here after getting in at about 13.11, I locked in about 50%, just shy of our secondary profit target, about 15.92. And then I moved my stop up into profits as I didn't want to turn the last position into a loss. I got stopped out yesterday at about 14, can't remember what my stop was, but I ended up closing the trade out for about $12,000 in profit, and then went all the way back down to 13.75, not too far away from our initial entry at 13.11. Crypto is so volatile. I don't like seeing big moves to the upside where I can potentially lock in profits and then have the coin go all the way back down to my buy price when there was a huge opportunity to take advantage of a $12,000 to $15,000 profit in the meantime. There's so many times in crypto where you go into a nice profit, and then because the volatility is so great, you just go right back into a negative or potentially big loss position because you didn't lock any profits and you never moved your stop up. While it's a little bit hectic because you get emotional in these trades and it goes into a profit, you're like, shit, I'm up $15,000. Fucking great. This thing could go to 20. I could make $30,000, $40,000. But then instantly, within a day or two, you're back to break even. You might also not make any money at all. So I'm constantly locking in profits on the way up, moving my stops up along the way up, ensuring that I'm making profits, ensuring that I'm moving either flat or forward in my account. And then if it comes back down into a range that I want to buy into, which is back down currently back into the areas that we were buying into in the first place, now I could potentially look at it again as a potential trade instead of, potentially being at almost a loss right now if I wouldn't have locked in anything. Instead, I made $12,000 locked in profits, insured my gains on APE, and now I'm back to cash and could be stress-free, and then maybe I can get back into the trade. But you can see our hit record for the last 20 trades, we only had 3 losses, and the rest of them were all for very small losses or just about break even on the trades. So overall, guys, that's basically what I'm looking at. As of right now, I'm looking at Bitcoin, which could potentially continue to trend up in these levels. And if it does continue to consolidate and trend, the altcoins are going to keep running. So you could technically still look for some positions on altcoins, or if you're still long in altcoins, we still have upside. As you can see, I hadn't hit my 3 and 4 profit targets for a lot of the trades that we're currently in. So I do think that we could potentially run up and still see those, albeit I did lock in the majority of my gains on the only longs that I have left. Now that Bitcoin is currently up at resistance, opening new long positions up here is definitely risky, especially when you're looking on the daily chart right now. We are overextended on the daily Flip X as well as Momo X, definitely oversold. We are also physically oversold looking at the chart here, but we could potentially get a magnet push right into 50 to 51 to 52K into this next range here of resistance, of which I'll be continually shorting small positions up in there with the profit target down in the low mid 30s to potentially long-term profit of 18.8 or 19.5, of which I probably won't have the patience to hold down there. If we do get a 20 to 30% pullback, I'll probably be locking in gains and then looking for a secondary setup to get short on Bitcoin. Also guys, looking at US 30, I am currently short right now. I'm looking for this to push into 35.2 and potentially get short again. This is a similar pattern that we have going on here, a descending channel that's just testing the upper barriers of it right now, also testing the 200-day moving average. Right now you can see on the daily candle just pushed above the 200-day moving average right now. If you can see this, that's the 200-day moving right here, pushed above it right now, and now it's failing, and we could see a potential bull trap. A lot of people are getting stopped out right here, which for me, this could be a potential bull trap right into the 200-day moving average, and we just absolutely eat shit on US 30, which would also be a complete eat shit across the board of US stocks, of which if that happens, there's gonna be a lot of fear spreading, and a lot of people are probably gonna start selling Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. And once that fear spreads, it's basically just fucking like a viral thing that happens, and fear spreads a lot faster than hopes and dreams. So that's kind of what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. Can actually look at my current short positions on US 30 at the moment. Currently short here, short here, short here, and I have more shorts between 35.1 and 35.3 on US 30 to add if we push up in there, and I'll stop out, if we get to about 35.5 on US 30, but I'm looking for this to drop to the low 30s again on US 30, which if that happens, there's probably gonna be a bunch of people in crypto who get, panic sold off, and we see a huge shit show across the board on Bitcoin and the altcoins. But I do definitely think that we could see a continuation of this bull trend up into 50K, which altcoins are going to continue to run, and you can continue making money going long until we do see a push up there. And if we get a bull trap and a sell off, and this actually flips on the daily chart for FlipX as well as Momentum X, that's when we could start seeing a real big reversal across the board on crypto. Anyways, guys, that's it from Bangkok today. Make money, lock in gains. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.